All right, so the first question I want to ask you is, what kind of community service projects does your team do?
Okay, we do a ton of community service at Kean. It's kind of in line with like just my mission, what I want with the team to do. First, one of our big ones is we do the Lust Garden Walk for pancreatic cancer. We usually do that up in Bergen County in Paramus, New Jersey. We also do a walk for hydrocephalus, which is a for brain injuries in young children. Hydrocephalus is something that develops in young children. And both of those community service projects are really near and dear to us. We do the Lust Garden Walk in honor of Joanne Calandrillo. Joanne Calandrillo was the mother of one of our Kean Lacrosse alumni who developed pancreatic cancer. Darren Calandrillo graduated in 1993. He was my college roommate when I played at Kean. So, and Joanne was like kind of like a second mother to me. I actually owned the house that was her house, her Fair Lawn, New Jersey. So, so we walk for pancreatic cancer. We usually do that in the fall. And the hydrocephalus walk is also near and dear to us because we do it in honor of LJ Lopes. LJ Lopes is the son of my now former assistant coach, but now he's back with me, Alex Lopes. Alex Lopes was the assistant coach at NJIT, Fairfield and Jacksonville. He started with me as a grad assistant, did the D1 thing for about 8-9 years, and now he's back with me as an assistant coach. So we walk in honor of LJ because LJ had a traumatic injury about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So those two walks, hydrocephalus and Lust Garden, pancreatic cancer, are two of our main ones. And then another community service we do is I like to do clinics. We did Harlem Lacrosse. We do clinics for Harlem Lacrosse. We did some clinics for my boy from Israel Lacrosse, Danny Leventhal, and the Bronx Lacrosse people. And we've also done some clinics with some upcoming New Jersey programs like Hawthorne, and some historic programs like the town I live in, Fair Lawn High School and Fair Lawn Youth.
Okay, so you talked about the two things you did with the connections, like, how you came up with those community service projects. How do you decide, like, the other ones that you do? What comes into the decision making to doing the other community service projects?
Like Harlem Lacrosse, and I think one of the things that I am a big proponent is really growing the game of lacrosse and growing it in areas like urban settings. I think I think there's so much that we can kind of give back as like lacrosse teams and lacrosse coaches to really developing the game in areas that haven't been normally touched by the sport of lacrosse. I do that because I teach, and I grew up in an area, and I still teach to this day, and grew up in an area, Bergenfield, New Jersey, that didn't have lacrosse. I was lucky enough that when I got to Kean 30 years ago, guys picked up the sport in college back then. And I know lacrosse has changed my life dramatically, obviously, over the past few decades. But growing up as a kid, I didn't have that opportunity to play lacrosse. And Bergenfield's kind of like a middle to lower middle class community, and we just didn't have it in the high school. And I was lucky enough to kind of do it at the next level after I was done wrestling at Kean, and it's been part of my life ever since. So growing it in areas like new program like Hawthorne, New Jersey, Harlem, the Bronx. We've done stuff in Newark with Newark East Side, one of our alumni. So I think that's really important to kind of grow the game.
I know it's important to you to do these community service projects, but what does it mean to have your team give back to the community?
I think it's huge. I think one of the things that a lot of people know, that Kean is a huge education school. We're kind of we're the benchmark, we're the standard in New Jersey Public State School as far as like our education programs and educating the next generation of teachers. So it's really important for me, being a teacher myself, that I get my guys out there and get them out there in the public, working with children, working with middle school children in communities like Harlem, the Bronx, and other areas all across New Jersey, and having that interaction with them. I think that's super important. Obviously this year, not as much interaction as we can, but that's for obvious reasons. But we hope to get these clinics and keep doing clinics and keep doing things, obviously in the near future.
And the last question I have, obviously you've been in the CSAC for now, this is your third year and you've got 1 year of competition. What does it mean to have your team in the CSAC?
I think it's huge. I think the CSAC is a great conference. I think you and Adrian, you guys do an awesome job. I think, it's really important for us to be part of the conference, to be part of a conference that, really promotes lacrosse, have that AQ, to have that opportunity to, play in a playoff or a championship and possibly go to the NCAA tournament. I know our sister schools, Montclair State and Stockton College, they feel the same way, as far as, being part of the CSAC. And, I think it's just, I think it's a great conference, and, looking forward to kind of having Karen and Vince Culpepper, come into the conference, as, fully in the near future. And I think the conference can just keep growing and get better. And it's kind of cool too, because Vince's assistant coach is one of my former alumni. So he was my goalie back in 2014, Dino Vitale. So it's kind of cool that this will be the first time I think I'll be coaching against one of my players in a game. So it'd be kind of neat. That's kind of neat.